Hello and welcome to Teleislas News with the most relevant and important news of the day.
Members of the Board of Directors of the Bolivariano Educational Institution expressed their discontentment for the process of eviction from the administrative block that was carried out yesterday.
The controversy continues over the loan agreement signed between the departmental government and the ESAP School of Higher Education, which apparently intends to let the administration block up the school for a stipulated period for the development of its academic activity in the department. This contract has caused the dissatisfaction of the board of directors of the institution, who stated that this space is important for the school and the administrative procedures. The order to vacate the block caused a clash of opinion in the educational institution the day before. This was made known by a member of the board of directors.
As you can see at this moment, many workers of Gobernación have met present in Bolzano School. They are taking out everything out of the office by the order of the Mr. Governor. And this moment, several members of the government are making present to take out everything. And when I tell you everything means everything. So we're making a special call to the community to come out and join us, especially rights leaders and all the community in general, because this situation today is against Bolivariano.
According to the islander, this contract is violating the rights of the students.
And this is a tremendous loss that we are seeing today, yes. And then we see that this is illegal in some kind of way, because they're not presenting no kind of documents or anything that can be used to support themselves. In the behalf of these actions that is negative against our community, we've been calling all the rights and all the community in general to come out and support us.
It is important to remember that this is a contract already signed between the parties with the objective of providing young people of the archipelago the opportunity to access higher education for free and without the need of leave the department. Today, the departmental government has not commented on the matter. Teleislas News will be attentive of any statement by the administration.
A new case of robbery occurred on the 20 de Julio Avenue, where a woman was intimidated with a firearm.
In the morning hours in the 20 de Julio Avenue, in the vicinity of a busy market on the island, a citizen who was passing through this sector was intimidated with a firearm by two citizens who were riding a motorcycle and robbed her of her belongings. The first versions indicated that the woman will be a messenger of a gas station who was in the course of her work when she was robbed. The National Police, in conjunction with the Criminal Investigation Department, SIHIN, initiated investigations to obtain details of the event and have a special group of officers to identify the criminals. The police entered the throat surveillance camera has managed to obtain image of those linked to the crime. Colonel Maria Elena Gomez, commander of the Police Department of San Andres, Providence, and Quequina, offers a reward for information that leads to the prosecution of those responsible for the theft.
And during the afternoon hours and in the departmental auditorium, members of the Accidental Commission held a session on the island to follow up on the effects of Hurricane Iota and the winter wave in the country.
During the sessions of the Accidental Commission of the House of Representatives at the Senate that took place this Friday in San Andres, the issues of the winter wave and the recovery of Providence after the hurricanes were discussed, as well as the increase of the budget allocated for these issues in the country.
From the Congress of the Republic, we have always been trying to look for the solution for the country problems, especially since the winter wave and the effects of natural disasters. And from the Fourth Commission, we have always fight for all the resources destined for this in each of the regions. That is why what we are doing today from the Accidental Commission of the Winter Wave is very important. We are taking stock of how the money has been allocated and how it is being used in the regions. And in this way, we have a real picture of how the situation is and how different communities have benefited from the contribution for which we have fought and which we have achieved thanks to the nation budgets.
For the members of Congress who are part of this commission, it is of vital importance to follow up on the reconstruction of the islands.
Today we want to tell all inhabitants of the archipelago of San Andres that the Congress of the Republic Accidental Commission was created precisely to follow all the measures adopted to everything that has to do with the winter wave, taking into account what has taken place in the archipelago. This is our first session and we wanted to make a special final one, where the whole government is presented to show us what they have advanced. Also, we have asked how we should strengthen the archipelago to better face this kind of phenomena.
The senator also stated that they will have the magnifying glass on the measures that have not been implemented 100% to recover the islands, and that they will seek to implement measures so that these can be advanced.
The head of the ICT portfolio announced the opening of new calls to encourage the production of quality audiovisual material.
A new historic investment for the country's national and regional public channels announced this weekend. The ICT Minister Karen Abudiden for 311,000 millions, of which 24,030 millions are in mark for the financing of 91 audiovisual projects in 6 different calls and proposals.
We want to announce today the plan we have for this great audiovisual production that went through this whole process and which we have to show internationally. That is the gem of the news. That is what motivates us to move forward, to continue thinking about how we will continue working. These are 10 calls. Here we not only stayed in the calls for action, we also worked in this whole issue of getting involved with the Afro, Indigenous, with all non-profit operators, community operators.
Regarding the opening of 6 calls for a proposal, the official revealed that the requirements are available on the Mintix website, and the inscriptions will be from March 9 to 19 in the first phase. The official explained that the projects that participate will be reviewed by 18 juries between April 15 and May 25. The winners will be published 3 days later.
And changes are coming within the cabinet of Governor Allen Jay. Several sources inside the Coral Palace indicated to this journalistic house that the current Secretary of Public Services and Environment, Delford Brackman, would no longer assume the leadership of this portfolio from next week. This journalistic house, will be attentive to the appointment of the new secretary to be made at the Coral Palace.
And thanks to the effort of one of our in-house artists, Mr. Morrison Livingston was able to receive a walker from Archipelago.
Mr. Morrison suffers from a pathology called chronic bedridden syndrome, which consists of loss of balance, stiffness, weakness, among other symptoms. Thanks to the efforts of one of our in-house artists, the Archipelago Foundation was able to assist the islander by providing him with a walker.
El día de hoy estamos muy felices porque
Today we are happy because through a local artist we can reach vulnerable people like Mr. Morris Livingston, who suffers from chronic bedridden syndrome, which prevents him from walking on his own, for which we thank Jiggy Drama for having approached him, and today, thanks to this work, we were able to deliver a walker for Mr. Morris Livingston.
People who wish to contribute to the cause of the Archipelago Foundation can do so by contacting them at director.archipelago.org or going to their headquarters in front of the Hotel Aquarium.
Now we continue with all the information from our sister island of Old Providence. During the visit of the Minister of Justice, Wilson Ruiz Orejuela, it was announced that in the next few weeks, the services at the Notary public offices in Old Providence will be resumed.
In the next few days, the services of the Notary Public of Old Providence will resume, as announced by the Minister of Justice, who met with the Mayor and the Notary Public during his visit to the municipality.
As a result of the Hurricane Iota, that, as you all know, there was damage to the notary's office. The corresponding administrative act has been delivered, and in a week, the respective money for the repairs of the notary's office will be delivered. This means that in 1 week, Old Providence will have the notary's office up and running, which is very important for all the inhabitants of the municipality.
The notary's office will remain in the same place since the damages in this office have already been fixed.
The notary office in Old Providence is in good condition. This notary's office will be working this week, and it will be in the same place. It is in perfect condition, and it is great news. For this reason, we came from the city of Bogota to make the delivery of this office.
On the other hand, they also announced the creation of a coexistence center for people to solve their conflicts before demanding justice.
We are going to create the coexistence center. It is something similar to a house of justice. We are going to see if, in coordination with the Ombudsman's office, which is talking about a house of justice, we can unify both and create the coexistence center that the municipality of Old Providence, which has approximately 6,000 inhabitants, needs so much.
The coexistence center will seek to solve family problems problems, alimony, and altercations. And if they join forces with the Ombudsman Office, it will be located in Batham House.
And due to the different communications that have been circulating regarding the construction of the Coast Guard station, this morning the Navy sent a letter seeking to clarify their position towards the recovery of the Coast Guard station and maritime traffic.
This morning from the commander of the National Navy, a communication was issued on social media where it attempts to clarify some points on the construction of the Coast Guard station. It affirms that the work is to provide security to the maritime communication route with San Andres Island, as well as to safeguard the lives of islanders and tourists who will visit Old Providence. The work would be carried out on the Naval Institution's premises thanks to a modernization project proposed 10 years ago to improve the living condition of the Navy's crew member, and of which the inhabitants of the island had participation through a process of prior consultation that has been carried out since 2015, where all the stages of the directive and consultative processes have been carried out by the Ministry of Interior, and through which the adjustments have been made to the project according to the recommendations. Finally, it also adds that the project has environmental viability for its construction and operation, as well as the concession for the construction of a dock, according to the guidelines of the Old Providence Land Using Planning Scheme.
In cultural news, a few days ago, last living member of Bob Marley's Wailers passed away. Two of our local artists gave some words of farewell to the musical regent.
Jamaica's Minister of Culture confirmed the death of reggae legend Bunny Wailer, who was one of the members of the Wailers at the age of 73. Two artists who had the opportunity to meet him gave their opinion about the death of the singer.
Bunny Wailer era un gran músico, un gran productor.
Bunny Wailer was a great musician and producer who participated not only in the musical concept that today we call reggae, but also participated since its foundation. I feel very pleased to have met him in person in Bogota, to have greeted him, to have shaken his hand, and as they say now, rest in peace, rest in power, Bunny Wailer.
I had the chance to meet them in Germany, and I see me now on plane, and I feel beg the pity, and I beg him one pity, and I feel good because I get the chance to get that remembrance right there with him, with one of the iconic artists we get to know Bob Marley, so I really feel good for that. But it's sad, but it's not sad at the same time because artists, they're not dead. Artists, they live off through the music forever and ever and ever. I don't know.
The reason for the artist's deaths are unknown, but the singer was hospitalized in a clinic scene last December and passed away on March 2nd of this year in Kingston, Jamaica.
And Soun Fahn Ya is a series of conferences to talk about Caribbean music from the perspective of our island researchers and from other parts of the Caribbean. This time the conference will be focused on an opportunity for our artists to venture abroad.
Aimed at the researchers, musicologists, and other music-loving artists, the Cultural Center opened the virtual space to develop musical themes, such as the one that took place yesterday with reggae as the main theme, given by Adrian Berbel, an islander who lives in Europe.
Yesterday we went and got the opportunity to have Adrian Berbel, a person who knew plenty or a lot about music of the Caribbean or Caribbean music. He is a person that introduced we about the reggae and how we as an artist we can take place in this space of the market of the music, in a special way the reggae, but in Europe.
In the same vein, the guest speaker at the virtual event explained the topics covered at the conference.
During the presentation, we showed some predominant artists or sounds, as well as the mechanisms of diffusion of this music in Europe. We also presented the experience of some local artists who have been successful in opening space in the international market and examples of innovation and creativity within the island music.
Finally, the band manager explained to whom the event is aimed at.
These different activities that we are doing, or this different conference that we call it Soun Fahn Ya, we are planning to do it all during this year, and the idea is make the who know about the music of the Caribbean and big up with people who are investigated about our music, and then get the space to talk about it and make the people from the country, Colombia country and other countries, know the result of all the investigation that our people and they are taking out and around or concerning the reggae music and different music from the Caribbean.